Hello and welcome back to WGLNA Season 2 Group Play, Day number 2. We just saw Simple Tankers lose to Simp in a shootout. Simp takes 1 point in their match victory. I'm Clutch, joined on the set by Greetorp and Rookkill. Our next matchup is No Limit versus Bernal Empires. No Limit, formerly Scurry Hard, had a rough day yesterday. I think that their eyes have been opened a little bit to the type of competition they're going to have here. I don't think they came into this competition unprepared, sure, but they're going to need to kind of pull themselves up by their bootstraps in these next couple matches.
I also want to remind you, Bernal Empires, same boat. They lost out to Simple Tankers 3-0 as well. So both these teams were swept just yesterday. They're looking to showcase their skills. I feel like Scurry Hard or No Limit have a lot more experience. They're going to be the ones to potentially do pretty well. But I know Bernal Empires have also taken out fantastic teams like Simple Tankers before. They've taken out Simp Main before, and they've also taken out other really, really fantastic teams.
Game Over was a team that we hadn't seen yet in WGLNA, and they're the ones that swept No Limit 3-0.
And whenever you think, a Brazil World of Tanks team, you're thinking, oh, they're not going to do well. They're fighting with 150 ping, 200 ping. That's a lot to be witnessing right there. That's like a second of delay. Mm-hmm. And when you have that much ping, oh my goodness, is it hard to play tanks? Is it hard to play anything? That's what they're doing. Could you even imagine you're on 56K playing World of Tanks?
No, I had difficulty.
No. Stop it, Andre.
No.
I brought back memories.
300 plus ping, yeah. Wow. Thank goodness I first got broadband internet, man. It was awesome to have that experience. Going over what we have for the rest of the night. Obviously, up next is No Limit versus Bernal Empires, then Fulcrum Gaming versus Pubstars. Following, we have Nerve versus War and Peace, then River of Blood versus Hammer Time. But now it's ready for the face-off. Let's go ahead and talk to these two team captains from No Limit and Bernal Empires. Gentlemen, good evening. We're going to start with you, Blasey. Nice smile. Yesterday, Blasey, what happened, in your own words?
Well, I think they kind of sweat our pants down, and it's kind of sensitive. I'm kind of sore, so it just didn't go good. I think we made a lot of key mistakes, and they definitely capitalized on it. So.
And this was a team Game Over that you had faced. Had you ever faced them before? Did you do any research on them at all?
Actually, we hadn't. We hadn't played them, and I think that's probably what kind of cost us there, because they caught us off guard with a couple things.
Shame on you, Blasey. You know better.
Yeah.
Well, but you know what, Blasey? I think you're in the same boat of almost every other team here, because
I do agree.
As well as Game Over did yesterday, this was a team that we hadn't seen yet on the WGLNA level. So now you know, and the rest of the teams know. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts coming up against Bernal Empires?
Well, at least we got to see these guys the other day, and we've heard some stuff about them from the G-Force tourney lately. So, I mean, that's another thing we didn't scrim. But, I mean, we were able to do our research on them, get some, I guess, scattering reports per se on them. So I think we're more prepared tonight.
Now, G-Force, sir, I'm going to have to ask you, are you at a hotel right now?
Yes, we are. We're actually as a team in North Carolina for the WCG finals happening tomorrow.
Oh,
so
good luck.
Yeah, best of luck. You're going up against Fulcrum Gaming, correct?
Yes, we are.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that series? Is it a best of 5, best of 7? What happens to the victor?
It's 3 sets of 5, or 3 sets of best of 5. Winner of 2 sets goes to China. So.
Right on. Well, best of luck to you.
Yeah, I know you've been doing really well in other leagues as well, taking out teams like River of Blood, who have been practicing so hard, taking out Simp Main. What does it mean to you right now? I know you started out of the gate a little bit slow, but you're up against No Limit. What are your chances for this next match?
I think they're pretty good. Last night it was not a good game for us. I mean, no disrespect to Cunninghams, they played great, and they handed our butts to us, and I think the nerves got on us a little bit, but we're feeling good tonight. We're relaxed. We're ready to go.
All right. Do you have any words for No Limit before we start this battle?
Not really. I guess. I mean, there is one player on their team who we're hoping to make him regret picking their team over picking ours, but we'll see how that plays out.
Blasey, anything in response?
No, I don't want to eat my words this time. So I think I'll just go with the old tried and true. Good luck, and we definitely are ready to redeem ourselves tonight. So.
All right, Blasey, you're the higher seed. Heads or tails for the coin toss?
We'll go with heads.
All right, heads is a choice, and it's heads. Do you defer, or will you choose the map?
We will defer.
All right, deferral goes over to Bernal Empires. G-Forcer, what is your map choice?
Steps.
Steps and no limit. What will be your spawn position on steps?
We will be north.
North side for no limit on steps. Bernal Empires to the south. Gentlemen, best of luck.
Thank you.
And also best of luck to G-Forcer for his internet not going out at that hotel room. But a huge
So
shout
man.
out to Fulcrum Gaming and Bernal Empires. They will be competing in the World Cyber Games American Finals. And as he said, the winner will go on to China. And I have the distinct pleasure to be one of the commentators there for World of Tanks in China. I was there last year, looking forward to it. So either team would be a great representation of America. And hopefully one of them can beat Na'vi. Because
And here we go. Let's take a look at. Whoa, that is a lot of Chinese tanks.
I'm a fan. I
Wheezy,
like
wheezy,
it.
wheezy, wheezy, wheezy. For
Wow.
burn all empires. On the other side, No Limit is bringing 2 Pershings, a T-69 and a 1390. If I am No Limit, I'm saying, hey, let's brawl.
Yeah, I would not. I would not stop. I would use this eastern position. I would push and I would go.
Yeah, I mean, the WZ-132, don't get me wrong, it has excellent damage over time, but you're not staying alive that long because you only have 1,050 hit points.
Well, if you're able to outturn the 1390s, you could live long enough to dodge some of those shots.
Yeah.
But again, it's like a school of fish, right? A shark has difficulty trying to single out one tank. If you have all the WZ-132s moving together and popping up at the right time, at the right spot, that type of target fire of the confusion of who do we hit, who do we hit, they can get 2 or 3 shots in and take down one of the 1390s and then try to get away.
Well, that's where discipline comes into play, Clutch. If you have a disciplined team, you don't care how many tanks you have. You have a primary declared, and if you've got a good disciplined team, it doesn't matter. You will hit the right target. And we'll see how disciplined these teams are if that shows up and that happens.
Azrael playing very bold over here as the WZ-132s are slowly starting to move over to the western side. He's just peeking up, looking for any spots. Blassie is over there. I'm not sure what tank he's in. He's in a AMX 1390? Yeah, he's in a 1390. And I do want to mention that Blassie is undisputedly the best all-around tanker in WGLNA Season 1. You can really tell that he knows how to drive and shoot his tanks.
Yep, the jack of all trades is Blassie, and he will be in that 1390, cruising next to those rocks and waiting patiently for anything to pop in his way here. But nothing's going to pop right now since he is the furthest to the west side in that E2, that Echo 2 quadrant. But using those rocks as a backdrop to kind of push off from, he will see Azrael 9 if he does creep up closer and closer. Azrael is in that WZ-132, which has better traverse speed, a better turn radius than those 1390s. And he needs to use that to his advantage. If he does engage in a single battle here, Blassie does see him,
but Azrael
does not see him. No, it is not scouted.
Azrael does realize this and is going to very smartly retreat, but he is going to return. He's getting. I don't know if I agree with trying to return. Although turning around oddly and then doing. Azrael's movements are a little bit weird to me. I don't drive this way. Yeah. Wow, what he's gonna do.
And honestly, like, the WZ-132 is one of those tanks that you can get punished so hard for a single mistake. And I agree, Rookkill. I think this driving is a little bit audacious. Like, there is so much position that he just does not know about. And he can instantly be proxy spotted even and just gunned down from across the lane. So I am a little bit worried, but Azrael is safe throughout all of this. Blassie's still standing, and there it is.
Yep.
The first spot.
There's that western push now, and they are going to creep closer and closer. Azrael's the first one to be seen, but Blassie has seen himself, and he's going to back away from those rocks now. He's not going to see the rest of those tanks push, and they're going to get some more map control as they move further and further north on that 2 line.
Looks like just a big, big west side push. And I agree with this to an extent. But the question is, how do the WZ-132s actually attack? They can't just expect to attack and win in a brawl. They don't have the muscle to do that. So it has to come down to some sort of initial engagement in the beginning stages, them getting an HP advantage, and then they look to take the fight. But I am still searching for a place where they can accurately kite their opponents.
Azrael could move across the railroad tracks and use the northern position of those rocks to stay behind and get some really good flanking fire for anyone approaching if the other WZ-132s move further to the east. We saw Soviet
hits
with
coming
that
out.
approach with a 1390 before. in
Revenant
Season
down
1.
a little bit here, and Joe Jack did take a little bit of damage as well, as he is down about 1 shot. 659 health for Revenant, though. He needs to be so careful. Or, excuse me, Revant.
And now there is a reset here. Tofu Smurf in the Pershing is going to be in a really crucial position in this hold down position just above this hill to stop any of those WZ-132s pushing in against the flag cap. This is good defensive play from Tofu Smurf to try to stop this aggression if this happens from WZ-132. And he is able to see one because Son of Hail's little tractor position is able to scout one of them. Shot's going to fire from Sea Otter, Defiler of Seals, right above in his Pershing. But they're not able to track a shot yet. But now they do see Azrael and Mac.
Yep.
Is not scouted yet, but they have taken the northern side.
Son of Hail and the Lowell Tractor has been spotted. If they can get him out, that could be a little bit of map control going to Bernal Empires.
He is down. T1 shooting at him right now, but it looks like he will not be able to clean it up. G-Forcer in that T1 trying to do damage. He has to be careful as well because there are shots on him, and down he goes.
On the other side of the map, guys, Static has been spotted by SBM Hawk in a T1, and he has taken a nice hit. He's down to 886.
And that's the thing. I mean, just these easy shots that go on the WZ-132s is just so brutal because it represents such a large proportion of their total hit point pool. So
go ahead and take a look at Zone
This just
Delta.
makes it so difficult.
Zone Delta is getting spotted out by Blasi, and he's actually going to hit Blasi before Blasi hits him, but Blasi is not a loader, so he's going to have a second shot up.
Oh.
2 great shots, and his ammo rack is hit. Zone Delta has had his ammo rack
I love how
damage.
you mentioned that too. You know, all the time in the office, Rukil, you always mention second shot. And a lot of times we always focus on alpha, but second shot a lot of times is one of the most important things. To take that shot, that initial shot from Zone Delta, he needs to poke out. He's going to get that burst damage from the 1390. That second shot, though, will actually mitigate a lot of the damage advantage that the WZ-132 has, and that's why Blasi just has such a remarkable HP advantage right now, closing in on Zone Delta.
And here comes Blasi with that shot right to the rear of Zone Delta. He's going to turn straight to the left, and it's going to force Blasi to miss that shot. Nice move by Zone Delta to get those rocks between him and Blasi. But Revent is going to move to the south to try to help Zone Delta stay alive as we have flag pressure underway. Zone Delta takes another hit from Blasi. Blasi 857 at 1100 against the 82 at a 1050. Zone Delta 94. But Revent is coming just around the corner here, down in a good approach using that valley side, the road in the middle, but Revent is exposed, and Blasi could line up another shot, and he will, or at least from the other side. Tofu Smurf is going to focus more to the northern section, as Static does see Joe Jack just around the corner, and Blasi almost lines up the shot, but Static is able to get the kill, and Revent is not going to be able to land a shot against Blasi, and he's going to back up.
Hitting
in that
Static
center area.
instead. It's not looking too good for Bernal Empires right now. No Limit has so much control, so much pressure. 20 seconds left on the cap. Revenant's just going to go in to try and at least delay maybe. No, he hesitates and stops.
Out.
No, he's not going to do it.
Static is able to shut him down, and now 9 seconds left on the clock. Blasi moves in. Oh,
there's the reset.
Reset happens on one hit.
But 3 on cap, and they have to take out a floppy giraffe. It's not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the victors will be No Limit as they capture the blue base.
Very decisive victory in the last number of seconds. Blasi moving in the great position to get that flag capture. It was a smart. And to the south, we have the red team. It is No Limit. To the north, the blue team. Bernal Empires, what do you have for tanks, Andre?
Let's find out. 3 5100s, an IS-3, and a T-69 for Bernal Empires. The other side, we have the very standard 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a single T-69.
Son of Hail moving into a window position here on the G line to see if he can scout anything. He does see a T1. Will he line up the shot? Maybe not, because that T1 is behind some of the building cover. Static is over to the opposite side of Son of Hail in his window position in that T1, and a floppy giraffe is covering the western approach from the railroad tracks. Son of Hail has been spotted from probably that T1 there, seeing at least where one of the IS-3s is.
Nice to see Son of Hail out of a T1, by the way. He's normally playing a T1 Cunningham, but you always like to see these guys that always get trapped in that T1, always having to alt-tab. and do something else now in something a lot more reliable.
But that's why they keep relics in a T1.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that just makes sense.
We love you, Relics. Relics, a member of Fulcrum Gaming.
Yeah.
Fulcrum, #1 team from Season 1, will be playing a little bit later tonight, so make sure to tune in for that.
Yeah,
but now
Fulcrum
we're seeing
Gaming in last place right now. 100% loss rate, guys.
yeah, now we're seeing Picnic Basket. Oh, engaging in the T69, taking a couple hits. One is a glancing blow.
And Zone
but two
Delta
did
coming in
penetrate.
hot.
Uh-oh. Yes, he is. Azrael just turning around, seeing 250-100s. He's like, oh, I don't want to engage against that. Joe Jack going to go all the way in, but that's a 50-100 initiating. You're going to get bursted down so fast, but Blassie, in the blink of an eye, is going to go down. Oh, my goodness, a giant turnaround.
Tofu Smurf is on the retreat now, moving very, very quickly in the 5100. Shots across the bow. One does land right into the top left section of the 5100. He's going to turn the bend, and hopefully no one is up in that window section to get a shot on him. It could be the case, so like we saw in the last match, but he will turn the corner just in time.
Don't forget, guys, Warvan on the other side is having to 2v1 Sea Otter of Seals and Son of Hail right now. He's down to 355, and he'll be down in just a second.
Yeah,
Static and Floppy Giraffe won that T1 battle, and they could put some flag capture pressure here, which is going to be crucial a little bit later. Son of Hail holding the line in his IS-3, taking down Warvan in his IS-3 respectively.
There was a 2v2 T1 versus T1, and it looked like No Limit was going to take that at first, and then it flipped around, and then it flipped around again. So in the end, I actually feel like No Limit was able to turn this around really nicely with pushing up the 10 galley.
Notice the position of Son of Hail using Sea Otter Defiler in a great hold down position to cover his friend with that HP sharing. Sea Otter will die, but hopefully it was enough damage to be dealt out of Son of Hail to get a kill at least. No, he does get a huge blow against that T69 cruising across the way. 26 seconds left on the clock now. Son of Hail will continue to hold that engagement against the 250-100s. Joe Jack moves in for the kill against him. Son of Hail holds the line. 101 HP against him, but Azrael 90 will move in for the final shot. Nice play by that team. However, they're going to clean up the remaining T1s here. Floppy Giraffe, only one left alive. 1 minute and 7 seconds. This will be a victory for Bernal Empires.
Looking really, really good. Mac was able to come on the flank and just crush everything. A little bit of, honestly, some weird driving from Zone Delta in this game. He actually messed up Azrael quite a bit, but everything works out really nicely.
And Bernal Empires will take the victory here. What do we have for tanks, Andre?
Yeah, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a T69 for both sides. All right, so it's going to be a mirror matchup. And, you know, we've already talked about the T69 a little bit. And it just doesn't... It's like the pit, very unfulfilling.
Oh my gosh. All right, the T1 Cunningham right here from Sea Otter Defiler of Seals. He has been mixing up different tanks in different roles, and I've seen that apparently in No Limit. We have people playing T1 sometimes and then playing the heavier medium tanks sometimes. No comment really for myself on that type of play, because since this team is in the beginning stages of the group play, I can see how they're going to perform under the pressure and then assign people later on. But I hope that doesn't bite them a little bit later if they don't have enough points to get to Vegas. But I can understand that tactic coming from Blassie to see, and also to kind of switch it up against your opponent. If they expect a Sea Otter Defiler of Seals to be in a T1 and then he's in a T69X battle, it might slip their mind if they don't see it at the beginning. And already we're seeing some damage being dealt against Blassie here in his T69. Looks like the shots were fired across the railroad, or next to that railroad way, but nothing is there right now for Blassie to see, and he is simply waiting. And
yeah, that was complete blind fire. They didn't even know Blassie was there. They were just crossing their fingers, hope to die, stick needle in my eye.
Yeah, Blassie seems to be in a stunned state of, I can't believe I just got hit like that. I'm going to wait and see if that approach is going to be the same.
Well, no, he's actually saying, oh, I'm going to get back at you, Zone Delta. Because look at that mini-map. You guys can see it. Blassie can actually see his friends go over there and meet up. Now, a Floppy Giraffe is going to lead the way in his T1 Cunningham, and there are shots being taken. It looks like Zone Delta will just evacuate out of there.
He was spotted for a bit, but now Floppy Giraffe is unable to see him.
And all of the tier 8s are spotted. I do want to let you guys know. So there's a big retreat in everybody else. The 5100s, the IS-3s are coming back into position to defend against an east push.
And now Floppy Giraffe is going to hold the line a bit here, and this is going to be a reset, the 7:36-minute mark, as the No Limit team in red is going to move down to the south side. Now, I like what they're doing because of what happened to Bernal Empires, of them moving back in a defensive role because they saw Floppy Giraffe. And that could have been what No Limit wanted to execute, but it's going to take a while for them to get to the other side. And G-Forcer's going to move closer and closer here. He could be, at least, with the rest of those heavies to find out what is happening on the west.
And as you can see, again, on the minimap, the rest of the red team have just gone back all the way. Once they've been spotted, they know they've been spotted with that sixth sense. They're just going to back up and say, okay, let's reset this and do something else. But a Floppy Giraffe now is starting in a much more comfortable position. In terms of spatial advantage, we have a gigantic spatial advantage for the team No Limits. But I love this position. Look at what Zone Delta has done. He's actually pushed up so much. And what this does is allows him to see if there's any train crossing, in this position, tank crossing. Because you don't have the sight range to see all the way down there. So if there are any moving tanks, he's going to be notified immediately with probably optics on this tank. There is all indicators to let him know if there are tanks that will be crossing over to the west side, allowing their other tanks to reposition well.
Static gets spotted, and all of the members, it looks like,
Yep.
of No Limit are going to get lit. You guys see up at the top those little light bulbs going off. That is a lot of tanks spotted here, and that will prompt a full return out of Bernal Empires. They are going to probably have to come defend their cap. I'm expecting to see a screen with these IS-3s, 5100s, and the T1s coming in
Look
behind.
at where Blasey is, too. He's getting great crossfire now on Warvan. And Warvan in his IS-3 needs to be a little bit careful. He's going to turn around and confront Blasey. And then the T-69, but shoots a car instead. Oh my goodness, Warvan. A critical mistake.
Joe Jack, with 82 hit points out of his 5100, is going to be chased by Tofu Smurf. No, Tofu Smurf's going to aim to the left now, trying to poke out and see if he can see any of the remaining tanks to the left. And the 5100 is remaining, but he's going to get lit up from that side. He's focused on the tank with the more HP, and Joe Jack, with such low HP, gets the kill against Son of Hail. This is a turret defining moment here, trying to decide which way to go, but Tofu Smurf is able to get that last shot from Joe Jack. Tough situation to be in from both teams, deciding which way to focus on, but they went for more of the heavy side instead of that easy kill to get that 5100 push destroyed. But now two tanks are going to stay on the capture point. His Picnic Basket and his IS-3 has not taken any damage yet. He's going to focus on Warvan. Will he take the shot? No, he waits. He does get the shot just in time as Blasey turns the corner. And now Warvan with 158 HP. Oh, another tank does go down as Mac is able to get one shot against one of the tanks. But Floppy Giraffe in the T1 will be behind the husk of the 5100 as he's going to continue to stream those capture points in for his team. Picnic Basket and the IS-3 is up against Mac. Mac gets the kill against Blasey. And now it's going to be an IS-3 trying to hold the line against Mac. He needs to stop this push from the IS-3. Picnic Basket's going to continue to get that fire. 3 seconds left on the clock for the capture.
Oh
Floppy
my
Giraffe
God.
moves out just
Floppy
in time.
Giraffe takes it, takes all of the cap points. Ladies and gentlemen, No Limit will go up in the series 2-1. I can't believe he was able to do that. I thought for sure the IS-3 was going to be able to get him.
To the north side, we're going to have the red team, No Limit. To the south, it's the blue team, Bernal Empires. And what do we have for tanks?
We're going to find out right now. 2 IS-3s, 3 T-69s for Bernal Empires, 2 5100s, a Pershing, a T-69, and a 1390 for No Limit. So very interesting lineups coming out from these two teams.
Indeed. But now we're going to find out which way they're going to go. And for the red team, it's going to be a western push down that side. Here we have Blasey, the 5100, leading his team here. And he is going to hang back a little bit as the T-69s push forward. Now to the south side, we do have some blue movement, and they may be able to match them, but they could be playing more defensive a little bit later.
You know, I really have to respect. I know you were just talking about the north side, but I really have to respect Blasey a ton. I mean, he stepped in a critical moment where, you know, Squirrelin, the former leader, kind of was removed from the team, and for him to, you know, take that role, and on top of that, be such a masterful tanker at the same time. I mean, the stats don't lie. He's done a lot. He's taken on a lot of different roles. He's putting on a lot of different helmets, and we're getting to see some cool stuff.
All right, now we're seeing some cool stuff right now. Picnic Basket in the Pershing going to try to land some shots, and he does against Jojak in the IS-3. He gets hit himself, 1061 out of 1440. Son of Hail trying to miss some shots or dodge some shots as he tries to set up a good counter to anyone peeking around that corner in his 69 in the flank fire as Picnic Baskets pulls back in that Pershing. Not any advancement from Blasey, Tofu, Smurf, or a floppy Giraffe, waiting to see if there's going to be a full-on push from Bernal Empires. No Limit is in the lead. They could play for the draw if they wanted to, but they want to go for the win. We saw a shootout happen in the previous match, which was only a 1-point victory for the team that was able to win. They want 3 points here for the match series, and they're 1 win away from it. No Limit now in a defensive position on that western approach, but the blue team with their 2 T1s are going to push a little bit more aggressively and try to get more map control on Abbey as Sea Otter is going to move his T1.
It's Sea Otter, Defiler of Seals.
Yeah, no, excuse me. I'm just trying to abbreviate his name.
I'm just kidding.
To see if there's any push up. This may be a bit of a sacrificial play from his T1 Cunningham. That's okay. It's information gathering, which is crucial and could be the correct information needed for No Limit to decide to hold and wait or to push in.
And things are just very stagnant as it is right now. I mean, this is the type of stuff that we would expect when both teams go to the west side.
Stagnant, and as you say that, they take the corner.
It's the Castle Curse, guys.
Pershing gets a shot landed against one of the T-69s. That looks like it was G-Forcer here.
That it was.
Son of Hail may be cut off from the rest of his team, but he could move around the bend maybe for one more shot. 948 compared to 1125 of G-Forcer. And he will move around the bend here. He sees the IS-3, gets a hit on Jojak. Jojak's turret is focused down the other side of that rock. But Son of Hail is hit as Jojak moves in a retreating position and move back.
Son of Hail needs to be careful. He's down to 587 health. It's not a position you want to be in, but a 2v1 happening on the other side.
Guys, and they've spotted Static in a 1390 in the backfield. Static is all the way in J7. I don't know if that will prompt a push out of Bernal Empires or a return of tanks. One of the two. Wow, that T1 SBM Hawk does go down. Not quite in the bush perfectly, and it looks like they're going to be looking for Warvan now. We've got a huge T1 advantage and possibly cat pressure coming out from No Limit. Bernal Empires is in a really dicey situation.
Sea Otter, Defiler of Seals, and Static could put that cap pressure on, according to Rootkill, but they're going to actually move back. Static going to take the long way around instead of heading through the Abbey, wondering if he's going to maybe get a couple shots from a bird's eye position here on the side of the mountain, but that maybe not be the case. Zone Delta is going to move his tank, Zone Delta 94, to try to stop any of that fly cap aggression, but there will be none. So he is going to be out of the fight for that approach. If Sea Otter, Defiler of Seals, is able to spot him, that could mean a push up from the rest of his teammates. However, the HP values are a little bit more in the favor of Bernal Empires rather than No Limit.
You know, something that could come out of No Limit is that 1390 returns to the west, joins, and predicts that Bernal Empires has sent one tank back to the southeast and then makes it a 5v4. Now that's that's a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah, because you have to assume so much.
It assumes your opponent is reacting to your 1390, and I believe that's actually what we're about to see. No Limit maybe going to take that little bit of a leap there.
Well, here we're going to see the high five tag team of the T1 Cunningham and Static. The T1 could be being placed back in a defensive position, maybe going down to the alleyway itself to scout anything there, because Zone Delta 94 is now going to take the alley approach. And as Static comes in with the rest of his team, this could be the push with the additional fire that they needed.
This is such an interesting play. I mean, I can say it's great, but at the same time, you have to recognize the risk of what No Limit could be about to do here.
Zone Delta is spotted in the center, and he's taking shots from the west side of Son of Hail. in that T-69. Zone Delta needs to be so careful, but
That
there
is-
it is. That should be.
That is so much verification.
Yeah.
This is exactly everything No Limit needed to happen. They needed that verification, and now they should be pushing hard, and
But
they are.
Oh, they are. And they're
Okay,
pushing on a two flank angle here. Blasi and Static are on the bottom side, and now they're going to have flag cap pressure as well. Three-pronged attack as Floppy Giraffe tries to scout anything in the center of the Abbey. They're going to focus on hopefully Joe Jack and then Azrael because Joe Jack is lower in his IS-3.
Oops,
Blasi
Son of Hail.
taking some... Oh, ammo rack! Son
But he
of
was
Hail.
one shot away from dying anyway. Azrael going to come in here now and take some of the damage. I love this. A bounce shot on Azrael will send Picnic Basket packing as he is going to go down here pretty soon. 287 health, just one shot away.
Static and Blasi are going to move into that area as the T-69s push back. Joe Jack one shot away from getting destroyed. He does from Static. Tofu Smurf trying to cover the flank of Blasi in his 5100, isolating those T-69s away from the IS-3 as Static
They're about to be reloaded.
could engage again here, but Tofu Smurf trying to hold the line as Blasi falls back. They
Yeah,
were
there they
getting
are.
one kill. Static is trying to escape from that IS-3. He does, but Tofu Smurf is taking the brunt of that force
Yeah.
as he's going to get left behind here,
A
trying
lot
to
of
cover the
misses,
retreat.
a lot of bounces. Tofu Smurf now goes down. Closing on in. This was a 4v5 that went terribly wrong, and you have to look at it and say, well, what's initiating for you? All the initiating tanks, such as the T-69s, were already pretty badly damaged, and you don't want your 5100s taking the initial blows. So I really feel like, yes, it was a 4v5 on the west side, but you just don't have the health pool to do something like that. You have to play a little bit more nimble.
I felt like the dedication wasn't there to the push. It was, you saw a little bit of a few opponents and they just stopped. I mean, you had to know that you were going to lose a tank, and you could try to mitigate that by having someone pop out, take some hits, and back off, and then send someone else who's going to end up being very low, but at the same time will still end up surviving and possibly winning in that fight. It was a 5v4. It's a risky fight. It's going to be close because you've lost so much health, but they needed to dedicate to that, and failing in doing that No Limit is now probably, yes.
We're going to go to a game 4, and the only difference right now that Static and Floppy Giraffe can make is it's either going to be a win for Bernal Empires or it's going to be a draw. And Static is not going to be able to destroy the rest of those tanks with the time allotted.
This is game 5. We're going to go to game 5. This is game 4 already, and
yes,
this ties
so
up
we'll
the
go to
series.
game 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit crazy as we could potentially, if we have a draw next battle, have a shootout.
Well, No Limit is up 2-1.
Yes, they are.
So if this is a draw, Bernal
No,
Empires.
this is 2-2. This will be 2-2.
Oh,
This
they're
is
going
over.
to capture. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah.
I was like, please go for the capture. Okay. They did go for the capture. I was thinking they're going to hold out against Blasi for the drop. That's not going to be the case. They will go for the flag cap. I was imagining them chasing Static all around the battlefield,
Oh,
not
yeah,
finding him.
don't-
Well,
be-
Static did try to get some delays here,
Yep.
although he's not going to have enough time now. He's already fired a few shells. There's 6, 5, and T-69. This is called screening the cap, guys. When you just do stuff like this, keep him from getting on that cap. Any chance of delay, completely shut down.
And Red Base is captured, which means it's going to be a win for Bernal Empires, tying it up 2-2.
Because it looked like the way he was driving, he just wanted to book it past cap, but, wanted to just take the best route. And, unlucky for him, Pershings were very ready for that, and SBM Hawk was in a great position to spot that out. But we have such an advantage for Bernal Empires. I don't know if they have enough time, though, to get this finish.
We'll find out. G-Forcer and Zone Delta moving up in their Pershings, trying to do damage against these T-32s that are stuck inside of the bowl. The 1390s and T-69s are moving up on the flank, trying to overwhelm these two tanks, while the WZ-132s are still... Actually, they're going to cap. Oh my goodness, and they do have enough time to cap. But a simple reset will actually stop this from happening. Well, they need a couple of resets.
They need a third tank, and that's SBM Hawk. But G-Forcer and Revent are going to try to keep these T-32s busy right now. Zone Delta 94 and his Pershing could land another hit against T-32. He does, but here comes Blasi and his T-69 along with a 1390 and Picnic Basket and his T-69 to shut this down. They need a third tank there as fast as they can. Revent is going to get set up in the WZ-132 to try to stop it. 3 tanks are on the field right now, but there's a reset. A nice shot from Blasi to get that reset here. And there's another reset.
It doesn't look like it's going to be enough time, but it could be enough time to actually win the match.
No, well, Zone Delta is...
Zone Delta, Joe Jack is only one shot away from a T-32. Oh, and it's not going to happen. A low roll, 23 health left, and it will draw out. Wow. That's the problem. The WZ-132s, they shred so fast, Clutch. Oh my goodness, that was so close.
So quick. There was a sliver away for both those different tanks. Unfortunately, it was not a victory for them, and that means we're going to go to a shootout. So as we saw in the previous matchup, we're going to have to get it set up on Malinovka.
There was a Pershing too. Okay.
Yeah, you missed on that.
I missed that. Man, it would have been so much more epic if it was Joe Jack.
But the Pershing was taking shots as well. I mean, his
Okay.
health was going down. They needed about 3 more seconds for them to get the victory, and it would have been a victory for Bernal Empires.
Yeah.
And
Well,
or
for
excuse
the
me,
cap.
for the cap. But,
Don't forget, yeah, there
no
is
limit.
the cap
Yeah.
that existed that if they weren't able to reset, that's a big problem as well.
static from no limit at 1390, trying to get that last shot on the cap where one of the tanks were, and I forget who his teammate was, but he was trying to fight the Pershing a little bit further away. So that means we're going to go to a shootout. Randall, do you have any closing thoughts on that series before we find out who's going to be a victor here because of the draw?
Both teams need to come up with answers to both enemy positions much faster. We saw No Limit doing something that was completely conventional for them. We've seen that strat 100 times out of them. They play Prohorovka almost the same way every time. And I felt like you should have seen Bernal Empires, maybe if they'd studied their opponent, able to come up with an answer to that. Now they tried, but it was too late. Too little too late. And, if we'd seen either team kind of try to find a resolution that map a little quicker, we probably would have seen a winner. It would not have probably been Bernal Empires with the way it played out there.
That's very true. Well, we will find out who will be the winner after the shootout, so it's going to take a little bit to get that set up. We invite you to get a drink, get a snack, and get ready for shootout number 2 of tonight, the second shootout of the league so far for Season 2. You're watching WGLNA. Stay tuned. And it's going to be on Malinovka, obviously, because it's a shootout between Bernal Empires and No Limit. They are tied up. It was final game was a draw. They were 2-2. Now, if you're watching the first shootout ever, how it works is they'll line up in a specific area on this farmland of Malinovka. The farmers are thinking, why? I just planted all my wheat. But too late. The tanks are going to have an epic battle. And you will notice there is one more team member on the red team, and that observer account will not be part of the firefight here.
Looks like he's chosen a T-62A this time.
Yeah, he's in a tier 10, and he will be out of the firefight. There he is, or excuse me, he's in the middle of the map here. He will not be in the firefight. He's coordinating with the teams to make sure they are in the correct position. You don't want to ram a tank. That would be terrible. We'd have to reset. And he's making sure that they do not go past the specific line. Why he's being so close to them, I don't know.
Oh, he's telling them where the line is. He's like, guys, the line is right here.
Yeah.
I will do it with my tanks. You cannot cross this line.
Imagine if he bumps into the medium one, kills it.
Or deals damage. That would be...
Oh.
Yeah.
We would
Medic.
ban that.
That would be awkward.
We would ban that admin immediately.
Yeah, so this will take a little bit of a setup, folks. As we talked about last time, though, it's not only the position, it's also the lineup. And I want to see the lineup for both these teams.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go ahead and check out the screen for Andre here.
Oh, baby!
Yag Tiger.
Oh, baby!
8.8
Come on,
centimeter.
don't talk about that. Talk about the much cooler thing.
5 IS-3s.
Oh, baby!
IS-15, sir. That's the name of the setup.
Now,
And it's great.
I am kind of happy about that because it's very easy to just one shot, one kill someone. But coordinating that is a little bit difficult. And I am a little bit scared because IS-3s, even though they're known for being so incredibly hardy, their armor is great, they have a lot of weaknesses. A lot of weaknesses on their turret, on their mantlet, and even on the hull. And we always know IS-3s for being so good at bouncing stuff. And normally the bounces from the sides. And this is definitely a position where, yes, you can reverse angle, but most of the time you should be shooting like right on the turret around this area. And a lot of times you can pan around the gun and also get that hatch shot.
Yep.
So
that hatch shot can be penetration even for a very well armored turret.
yeah, I'm going to give the advantage over to No Limit here, just based on the tank choices. But of course, there's a lot more that comes down to it: marksmanship and tank lineups.
Look at the powerhouse that's the Yag Tiger. Look at that thing.
It's beautiful.
That's going to get penned, and it's going to light on fire so fast. Blasi is exposing the one spot on the Yag Tiger that burns. I feel like he's going to instantly
Is
catch
it
fire.
the front? Is that what you're saying? The front is
Yeah.
the one that burns?
Man, right
whoever-
there, the front center.
Whoever
That's where the transmission is.
developed the Yag Panther 2, they need a serious talk.
Actually, it's a whole lot of German tanks that have the transmission front center.
Yeah, they need to reassess how they make tanks back then.
You,
okay?
Hey, I think they did pretty well in World War II for a while.
Okay, well,
it's just in
You
this
are right.
game they catch fire pretty easy.
I'm going to have a talk.
Okay, the admin has left the field, and here's
And
the
here it
firefight. Max gets the first kill against the medium one. Fires ringing out from both sides. Only the medium has taken damage, and now both of them have been killed. Blasi trying to land a really solid hit in his Yag Tiger, but nothing is hitting yet.
What's going on? There's no shots actually killing anybody, but a lot of damage is being done now. The IS-3 is taking a little bit here and there, but when it comes down to it, yes, T1s have died, but not a big deal.
Son of Ale trying to land a couple more shots on his IS-3, and Blasi gets the first big kill. Well, that's a medium. It's not a big kill.
Medium. Yeah.
Now both the mediums are dead on the blue team. It's a little bit evened out here, but the HP advantage is going to go to No Limit. They are higher with
That's
their
right.
HP, but
It's surprisingly easy to pen IS-3s from the front. I mean, it's only 110 armor. Yes, it's a little bit angled, but a lot of these guns have much higher than 110 penetration.
Son of Ale missed a huge shot on that side. What are you seeing on your side, Ruko?
I am watching these IS-3s just share HP and actually armor very well. They're doing a pretty decent job here of making sure none of them gets focused down. I'm liking this. Now, I'm watching this fight go, and I'm seeing Son of Hail is incredibly low right now.
Yeah, but that's it. Son of Hail is the only person that's low, and it's
they're-
very easy to share HP directly after that.
Yeah, Mac is equally as low, but looking at the health bars right now, this is definitely going in the favor of No Limit. It just depends on how they're able to do this. I'm surprised, I'm really surprised that this Yag 88 did not take hits initially and catch fire.
Well, I think it's because the positioning of that medium where it died. He's shooting right between the crevice of. Let me get a closer look here. Like right between the crevice of where the turret is and where the hull armor is. He's shooting right between this area, and this is a great pocket shot for him to be in.
And look at how many shots. Look on top of G-Force right now. Where are all the shots?
Oh, they're
being
loading
done?
HE.
Oh,
HE.
baby. That's going to really do a lot of damage against the Yag Panther. Wait, who's...
Actually, a T-32 and an IS-3 took some decent hits. It's very smart to load HE, especially in
Yes.
this kind of a fight. You can damage guns, optics, and at this range, if you damage their guns and enough crew members, they're going to run out of kits and such, and eventually you can maybe close in, but with the amount of health points left for Bernal Empires, I feel like No Limit is going to be able to just break across the open field in a second and just finish them off.
Blasi finally takes some damage on his side. I was really impressed by the change out of Son of Hail now moving to the rear. Blasi gets the kill against Joe Jack in that IS-3.
It just makes so much sense to use HE in these positions. It's a lot of times hard to take that shot. And if you just use HE, you're going to be able to at least do a little bit of damage. And as you said, kill some of the crew members. But as it stands, only 2 IS-3s left. One of them, Azrael, is very, very low. And ladies and gentlemen, it's
Oh,
still
look at this
anybody's
push!
game.
They're pushing the huts of the medium ones.
Thank
This is
you.
perfect.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
Perfect. This is how you rush.
That is so cool! And down goes another IS-3 Azrael. And the only person left is Zone Delta, who is saying, okay, there was a moving husk, or 2 moving husks for a long time, but now they're all breaking apart and closing in on the remaining IS-3. This is not a good feeling.
Nope, No Limit is going to get the surround here. Zone Delta 94 stood his ground, but that's going to be it. No Limit will be the victors. Only taking 1 point, though, for the match victory because of the shootout instead of 3. However, it was well fought by them in this shootout, and they take out the 5 IS-3s and are your victors for match number 2 tonight.
Congratulations to No Limit. They will pick up their first win of the night. They are 1-1, but only 1 point, as you were saying before, Clutch.
Yep.
Still a well-deserved, well-fought victory. HE shells, man. I've been saying all along, Rookill's the one that taught me all about it. HE shells, OP.
Now, Rukil, can you briefly describe for us the difference between an HE shell and the APCR shells that these tankers would usually be using in esports matches?
Well, HE shell, as most people should know, is a high explosive shell. It's just supposed to explode with a very large explosion, whereas an AP and an APCR shell is just supposed to penetrate and then rattle around inside the tank, doing lots of damage to crew members and equipment.
Now, why not always use HE shells?
HE shells vary in damage, meaning it depends heavily on where you hit. And in the system of World of Tanks, HE shells kind of go out in, I'm pretty sure it goes out in bands, kind of.
Okay.
And those bands kind of just go out and they penetrate armor, or they don't, and they deal damage based on that, based on how they hit certain parts of the tank.
They have less penetration, correct?
Definitely less penetration, but the thing is, HE, with that huge explosion, covers a huge area of a tank, meaning you can hit near a crit, a weak spot, and deal a little bit of damage. If you aren't going to deal any damage with your AP, if you just can't pen, you can use HE and still get away with a little damage. Also, track shots are very important, because HE does great damage against track shots. Very good way to track a tank if you want to try to escape, you know, after you realize you can't pen with HE.
I want to really implore you guys, especially the scouts and the people playing the AMX 12T, the AMX 1390s even, you're going to be in situations where you can't pen the front or the sides of some of these tanks, and loading HE is actually one way to be a nuisance, to be that thorn in people's backs, because it's really frustrating if you're, you know, grinding up the lower tiers, you're being that scout, and you just can't pen anything. You feel completely useless. All of a sudden, HE, you can do damage to people's gunners, the radio men, the captains, everything, with just not even penetrating, just doing small, tiny bits of damage with the high explosion.
Some people think they want to bring the HE rounds when trying to stop a flag capture, when they have to get that guaranteed damage. And of course, it's not a guarantee for it to happen, but some would say just shoot for the tracks, you know, with the APCR.
Well, what you do actually when you're trying to stop a flag capture is a lot of people clump together when you go for a flag cap, and you can actually kind of shoot for the guy maybe right behind the one in front, and if they're clumped together, you can splash and hit both of them, stop 2 flag caps at once. I've seen that plenty of times. That's why also if you're on cap and there's already looking at cap, you might want to spread out a little bit, because you're going to both lose your cap points on cap if an HE splashes you. So just
congratulations to No Limit, as they are the ones that are going to move on with that 1-point match victory. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, get ready, because it's Fulcrum Gaming against Pubstar. Stay tuned. You are watching WGLNA Season 2.